Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a really good reading for you. Before we begin, I just wanted to introduce you to the decks I'm using today. We're going to be looking at what the divine feminine needs to let go of to move toward union. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know while I am totally in 100% support of union with your twin, I first and foremost believe that union has to happen within yourself. Union within self is, let's just say it's a really good thing. So I've pulled some cards just to get an idea of where we're going. And what I'm seeing is we are very much in this rebirthing process. We've been in this process all year, lots of transformation taking place. And really what Spirit is wanting us to know is that we are totally protected and divinely blessed, and we're being divinely guided to move forward. So this is a time of imagining the possibilities, really living in the place of your potential and manifesting that. So to look at what we need to let go of, we're going to use the Power of Surrender cards by Judith Orloff. This is going to let us know what we need to release. And then once we release, where we're headed, what's the major themes that we need to be focused on at this time. And to look at that, we'll be using the numerology guidance cards by Michelle Buchanan. Okay, once we identify what we're letting go of, what theme we need to be focused on, then how are we going to get there? And then for that, we'll use the Denise Lynn Sacred Traveler Oracle cards. That will let us know, give us the good advice on how to move through these transitions and transformations to get to our destinations, keeping our eyes on the prize. Now we're going to need some strength. We're going to need some support. That's where the Divine Feminine Oracle by Megan Watterson comes in. This will let us know what goddesses are supporting us. What energy do we need to embody from the divine to fully stand in our worth and our purpose? And of course, what about our partners? Where are they at? How are they seeing us at this time? And for that, we'll be using the Romance Angel Oracle by Doreen Virtue. And of course, I'll be pulling tarot cards as clarifiers, but I just wanted to give you that brief introduction so you'll know what it is you're in tune for. So let's get started. Okay, guys, so I have shuffled the cards, and you can choose whichever one stands out to you the most based on the Lover's Oracle heart-shaped cards. So this is number 1, row 1. This is number 2, and this is number 3. So take your time, meditate on each row, and choose one that specifically calls out to you. Okay, so for number 1, let's see what we have here. So we have surrendering to non-action, self-love, gates of triumph, goddess Freya, passion, and the romance card. So when it comes to what it is you need to surrender in order for this connection to come into union and for you to really come into union with yourself, is taking a step back and doing nothing, being effortless, or allowing things to be effortless at this time. What I'm getting here is you've been focusing outward a lot, and that's preventing you from healing certain aspects within yourself that could be propelling you forward at this time, because you're so focused outward, trying to be more, do more in order to have more, particularly around this connection. There's nothing you can do. Sometimes we have to accept that we've done all we can and there's nothing more for us to do. Sometimes we have to allow spirit to move, or, you know, even the other person, because everybody has free will here. And obviously there are choices that have been made that are not moving things, choices made in the 3D that as a result, things are not moving forward, or at least appear not to be at this time. So this is talking to me about, like, what I'm hearing is really taking some time to go within, spending the rest of this year with yourself, maximizing your alone time, really loving on yourself in a way where you're able to get clear about who you are and what it is you want. I'm hearing spinning your wheels, like maybe you've come to a place where you feel like you've been spinning your wheels and you're not sure what direction to move toward at this time. But when we come to those forks in the road, sometimes we just have to stay still. And this card actually says that now is the time to be still and not act, to simply breathe and just focus on your own power and let other people come to you. So I'm hearing that this is, you know, probably for someone who is in separation at this time. And if you guys are still in communication of some sort, you really need to focus more on allowing that person to initiate things with you, to come toward you. And learn the lesson here about, you know, just loving on yourself more, because that's what this journey is really all about. Getting clear within yourself and healing and transmuting all of the things within yourself that make you feel less than. You know, focusing more attention on you. Sometimes we put so much energy into, you know, being in partnership, being in union, being in a twin flame connection. It tends to consume us and we forget about us. You know, sometimes we're too worried about, you know, what are they feeling? What are they going through? How can I send love and light to them? How can I help them? When in reality, you helping yourself is helping them. And then realizing that, you know, sometimes you not doing anything is not only helping yourself, but helping the connection overall. And this is about really believing in yourself, believing that, you know, you have the capacity to bring into fruition everything it is, you know, you see for yourself and you see for your relationship. But it will take time, you know, not everything happens as quickly as we would like it to. And sometimes when things appear to be slow or slowing down, then that's when we'll, you know, like jump into efforting around things to try and turn that around. And that's not what's going to propel you forward here. In terms of what is going to propel you forward, we're talking about you understanding that, you know, this is an inner outer process. Like on this card, there's doors opening up from like this, you know, this fortress inside, and then you're moving out onto this, you're stepping onto this beautiful sunlit, you know, pathway where the road is smooth and it's paved and the pathway has been cleared. So, you know, success is at hand for you. It just may not look like how you thought the path would look for you to get there. And by spending more time alone, going inside, you're doing the, and being focused on the self-love, you're doing the inner work so that you can have this beautiful manifestation once you do fully step onto this divine pathway. Thriving is a state of mind. Accept that you can reach any goal you desire, and even more victories will expand in your life. But that acceptance comes from within. It comes from, getting clear and coming into union with yourself first, and loving yourself enough first to even believe that you can, have these things. And the more that you move toward that feeling, the more love, prosperity, abundance comes your way. So this is telling you to make, the relationship with yourself the priority here, and make that the theme as you step into 2019, rather than dwelling on what hasn't worked, what should have worked, what could have worked, really just embracing who you are. And so looking at the energy that you need to embody, or that will help you embrace this, mindset of success and abundance, and belief that, you can have what it is you want without all of this effort. We have the goddess of discernment, Freya. So this card says, I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. So really being mindful of how you're spending your time, who you're spending your time with, and understanding that this is a time period where you may be spending a lot of time alone. And that's okay, because that's helping you get clear on what it is you truly want, and then preparing yourself for it, because sometimes we have these ideas of what it is we want. It'll be nice if, I can't tell you how many people I talk to who are like, oh yeah, I totally want to come into union. I really want to, heal this, do that. But if their divine masculine were to walk in the door at that moment, they're clear that they wouldn't even know what to say. They wouldn't even know how to be or how to speak. And so, not saying that that's what's happening here with you, but the more time you spend with yourself, getting comfortable with yourself, and really just loving on yourself, the easier and clearer, that process will be, because you'll be fully grounded within yourself. And so, with Freya, she embodies the fierce and finely honed spiritual skill of discerning the most life-giving choice in each moment. So she can help you really, embody the present moment and be grounded in everything that's happening around you, no matter what it is. She's the chief of the Valkyries, the demigoddess who chooses who will live and die during every battle and war. So this is telling you to really, what this card is telling you is that you have the power of choice here. And not only do you have the power of choice, but you have the wisdom to discern what is and isn't healthy for you at this time. And by spending a little time in rest and surrendering to effortlessness and allowing things to come to you, to flow to you, that actually puts you in a better position to make healthier choices for yourself. And so with the goddess of Freya, this is all about saying yes to what it is you want to say yes to. And the more we come into embodying, just unapologetically loving ourselves and owning our self-worth, we become what's the word? We become more courageous in being able to stand up and say what it is we like and dislike, what it is we want and don't want, what it is we're willing to go for and not go for, or accept or reject. And so it says using discernment so that you are only saying yes to what will actually nourish and renew you, inspire, or expand you. It's not your business to worry about those who might disappoint. Because you were not made to meet everyone's expectations of you. You were made to express the truth of who you are and to use the brief time you have here on the planet to live out your full potential. The only obligation you have right now is, or anytime actually, is breathing and being. Your only true obligation is to the voice of who you are, not anyone else. And so I think that's a beautiful message here. This is all about like just surrendering to the essence of who it is you want to be, regardless of what this connection may be or could be. Like really stepping into your individuality, and that actually will allow you more confidence, more comfort, more just awareness of how to be in this relationship. And so you chose number 1, and we're looking at what this person is feeling about you at this time, like how they're seeing you. And I mean, there's definitely romantic feelings here. It says Cupid's arrow strikes. So to me, this is saying that, you know, if they're on your mind, you're on their mind too. However long you guys have been apart or been separated or whatever it is that's between you two right now, that hasn't diminished the feelings here. And that's Spirit's advice to you in terms of how you should be seeing this connection, with a lot of passion and allowing your heart and soul to, you know, sing with the joy and the good feeling that the connection brings. Because success is like you're going to walk through these gates of triumph. You're going to accomplish in one way or another what it is, you know, you're wanting to accomplish. Not being tied to what it looks like, not putting any demands or commands around who, what, when, where, how it should be, but just relishing in the good feelings of it, and understanding that the love you're seeking outside of yourself is love that you first have to give yourself and allow yourself to feel inside before it totally and 100% manifests the way you would like it to outside. So I want to pull one affirmation card that you can walk away with and take with you into 2019. Because I'm a real big believer in affirmations. And so it says, loving others is easy when I love and accept myself. Yeah, so I mean, it goes to the heart of this message, and that's just absolutely beautiful. Self-love is the key here. Self-love is the theme for you going into 2019 until you fully, wholly, completely love yourself. And you may think that, oh, but I do. If this message is for you and you chose this card, that means that there is more inner work to do, more healing to be done, more transmuting of, you know, negative energies coming up. So the affirmation is, my heart is open. I allow my love to flow freely. I love myself, I love others, and others love me. So seeing the world through the eyes of self-love, seeing everything around you through the eyes of love, first and foremost, self-love. And so what are the blocks to love at this time? So we have a lot of stress and anxiety and worry, and sometimes when you know, we're stressed out and we're worried about how things are going, we tend to feel like we have to jump into action and get something done here. But with the World card and the Empress here, I mean, to me, the Empress is the embodiment of effortlessness and ease, and the World card is about embracing you know, everything that's coming to you like having the world at your fingertips. And when you have the world at your fingertips and you understand that there's nothing that you can't have, do, or be, then you're not efforting as hard as you would, say, if you were living in lack and scarcity, because you know you're complete, you're whole and complete. The world card is all about completion. You know, but when this shows up in a love reading, you know, I get that in this kind of connection, it may have like started really quickly, kind of ended before it could even get started. And that's because of this like overthinking. The good news is with because I feel like there's a lot of triggering that has come up here that has, you know, created this separation. If you are in one where, you know, if it's just difficult right now, there's a lot of triggering, a lot of mirroring going on, and that's coming up to be transmuted and healed because of what exists in you, not in the other person. And remembering that no matter how whole and complete this person makes you feel, no matter how much, you know, passion you have toward them, that's because when you're with them, you're more connected to yourself than you've probably ever been. And so that feels good. And so of course you want to go toward that, but you know, keeping in mind that at the end of the day, the connection with yourself is what's really most important here. Okay. And so the advice, deep into yourself, deep knowing. And that's why being with yourself at this time, spending more time in meditation, spending more time alone with your thoughts, and, you know, looking at what it is you're thinking, how you're thinking about things, that's going to help you follow your intuition more, and just letting your knowing lead, letting that be the only thing that you have to put any effort into right now, which is, you know, loving yourself and looking at how you're looking at things, you know, trying to call this person, email this person, talk to this person, convince this person. None of that needs to take place at this time. The only thing that needs to take place is a building up of how you feel about yourself, how you're loving yourself, and trusting in your knowing that, you know, this person is who you believe them to be. They do have a meaningful role in your life, and they've left an indelible mark, you know, on your soul. They're key to your journey, and nothing can keep that alchemical process from taking place. And so this card says that this is a sign that your intuition about the person you care for is correct, and that you just trust your heart to lead you now, and know that the gates of triumph, magic can and will happen in the connection. Okay, so for those of you who chose number 2, let's see what we have here. So we have surrender to rest and sleep, synchronicity, watching clouds, Catherine Labore, I think that's how you say it. Keep an open mind, and acceptance. Okay. So for those of you who chose this reading, the message here is clear. We have several cards here that are asking you to, you know, take a step back, to really slow down and pay attention to the signs around you. Life is moving really fast. Things are it feels like happening like at the speed of light, to the point where you're not even able to keep up. And maybe that's how you're used to living your life, but being on this journey, you've really had to pump the brakes on things, and become accustomed to things not necessarily happening in your own timing. So the Surrender to Rest and Sleep card says to prevent burnout, slow down, honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. This is all about like taking care of yourself, understanding that, you know, you matter, like you come first, driving yourself into the ground, even if it's just in your head, like working too hard, thinking too hard, not allowing yourself the time to just really rest is not healthy. And when you're doing that, you're not alert and aware in a way where your energy is up and you're in high vibration, where you can see things. You know, sometimes Spirit sends us signs and synchronicities that are really slight and subtle. And, you know, if we're in this low vibration, if we're constantly tired and feeling sluggish and, you know, wanting to lay down, but just refusing to really, you know, rest in our hearts and minds, then we tend to miss these things. And we then wonder, well, why is nothing happening? And a lot of the times things are actually moving for us, or we are getting the answers that we're asking for, but we're just not standing still long enough to be able to see it. And so with the synchronicity card, that's indicating that you must increase your faith in how things are playing out. And even when things are feeling hopeless and uncertain, you still have to keep believing, because there's no such thing as accidents or coincidences in the universe. Wherever you are is where you are supposed to be. And, you know, the perfect people, the perfect opportunities are miraculously, or can miraculously show up when you least expect it. So it's not about logic right now. It's about really just surrendering to effortlessness. And that's coming up as a theme for Divine Feminine in a lot of the readings that I'm doing right now, because, you know, that's our nature. Like, sit back and watch clouds. Like, who has time for that? You know, the person on this card is leaning back in a hammock, and they're outside and they're watching the ships go by. Like, they're really taking time for themselves. And it can be difficult to believe that, you know, because of the way that we're programmed, that doing that is actually the quote unquote work that is required to get us where we need to be. But this is actually the time where we need to just, you know, put everything to the side, trust in the signs and synchronicities that are showing up, even if, you know, 3D circumstances aren't lining up, and just taking the time to really rest and renew our energy, because that's when insight and awareness can fully emerge. So the card says to take deep, full breaths, put your feet up, and just be in the present in every moment. Do nothing, watch the clouds, and the answers that you seek will emerge easily. But first, you got to stop all of the activity. A great way, because, you know, a lot of the times when we're in this go mode, and the person who I'm reading for here is definitely in this go mode, that's a lower vibrational energy. And we're putting out so much energy that, you know, our brains, our bodies, our spirits don't have time to process all that we're taking in. So this is a good time heading into 2019 before the new year kicks in. Take some naps, take some time to just say, you know what, not my circus, not my monkeys, and put everything, like everything, to the side so you can just be in a place of relaxation and recharging so you can feel fresh and renewed again. I went for a walk today out in nature. It's the first time I've been for a walk in you know, over a week because, you know, the weather, and I've just been busy. And I mean, it just gave me a whole new perspective and outlook. And, you know, it's important that we take times to do those things. I didn't start work until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but, you know, I went for my walk. I came back, I showered, washed my hair, made myself lunch, and it's amazing how just that alone helped me shift into a new energy. So let's see what we have going on here. Yeah, you're in this, you're trying to move things forward too quickly, too fast. You're focused a lot on what you need to get done, what needs to happen. You're trying to figure things out. And in the meantime, it's like you're doing this tap dance over here, like everything's okay, everything's fine. But, you know, there's this ship like burning in the in the background, and you're trying to keep yourself and everybody else that's looking distracted with the juggling of these balls, when really you're just tired and want to lay down and rest. This journey can take a lot out of you, especially when, you know, there's heavy energies and transmuting and, you know, purging and things like that that need to come up, and you're still trying to, you know, lead a relatively normal life. And I put that in air quotes. But, you know, the King of Pentacles, he's not, when he's, you know, in his full operational go mode, he's not worried about things. He's grounded. He's able to take care of himself and still take care of the kingdom. You know, so this may even be extending outside of your connection, like this energy that you have of efforting and going and doing may extend to other areas of your life, your work, your career, your what you do in the world, your mission. And I'm feeling like there's some, you know, just juggling of too many responsibilities. Maybe you're that person who feels like they need to do everything, and that's not going to work for you here. You know, in order for you to be complete, secure, and content, you got to rest. You got to get grounded, you know, because that will keep you from moving forward. And what I'm hearing is not being stubborn around, you know, doing it and doing the things that you know you need to do for yourself. If you're trying so hard to figure out like how to heal, why to heal, what needs to be healed, like sometimes just letting go and relaxing and not thinking about any of it is the healing that needs to be healed first before you can think of anything else, if that makes sense. And not distracting yourself with your work, not trying to like bury your head in the sand, I'm hearing. You know, with this Chariot here and the Two of Pentacles, I feel like, you know, you're trying to have too much control around the connection, around what it's going to look like, and it's your lack of control that is causing you to feel all tied up. And so this is when, you know, this good goddess, divine feminine energy of Catherine Labore should be kicking in, because she's all about miraculous healing. She's all about support and love and embodying the capacity to take care of ourselves in effortless ways. It says it can feel effortless to ask for what our loved ones need. We can fall on our knees at times to pray for the health and highest possible outcome for our beloved children and partners or friends. What's often far more difficult is asking for all that we need. For many of us, lack of self-worth can get in the way of realizing that we can ask for so much more, and that ultimately there is no difference between praying for our own needs and the needs of our loved ones. There are so many miracles, graces, and blessings that don't arrive simply because we don't ask for them. Spirit is ethical. Spirit does not interfere with our intrinsic right to choose our own adventure story. Free will is ours, so we have to ask for Spirit to intervene in the effort of our own healing. Ask and you will find. This is a spiritual truth, and also remember that suffering is optional. Suffering does not glorify us or make us more holy. At any point, we can ask for the highest possible good to shower down on us. We can ask to be healed in ways that we can't even imagine by handing that healing over to the divine. The healing might not arrive in the way we picture being healed. Our lower back may still throb with pain, but our heart has shifted and there's a miraculous amount of light within our lives again. If we can hand over an attachment to what healing is going to look like, we can receive all the blessings waiting for us. And so healing may not in your world look like, really letting go, laying down, surrendering to just taking care of yourself. But that's what's being called for here. Like, you're being halted from moving forward because you just won't sit down. You just won't put these balls in the air down. Like you're trying to figure out how to get it done. You're thinking that if you can just, be the best that you can be, that somehow all this efforting will have things work out. And that's not the case here. That's not the case. There's some healing that needs to take place, and in order for it to happen, you really got to surrender to the time it's going to take for you to do that. And that's slowing down, not by distracting yourself or ignoring the things that are coming up. And so it's not a giving up, but Spirit's advice to you is acceptance. It says, acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times, we must accept things as they are. There is no point trying to change that which is beyond our control. But you can still keep an open mind around things. Accepting things doesn't mean that they can't be changed, but it does allow you the ability to just let go and to just, let things be, let things rest and recharge, and allow time and space for some new energy to flow in without you trying to do anything. And this is how, in terms of your connection, this card says your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. And that could be, a part of what is at issue here in this connection for the person you're watching this reading for. Things like maybe you've been trying to change certain things or change certain things within yourself or about them, but, just accepting everything about them, about you, for exactly who you are, and knowing that who you are is exactly who you're supposed to be, who they are is exactly who they are supposed to be. And right now it's about each of you doing the work necessary to heal. And with this card being in the position that it's in, you know, what I'm getting is that they see you, they see your effort, they see all that you've put forth, and they still want to, at some point, if not now, come forward, come toward you, so you can like sit back and chill, because whatever is going on here, it's not you. Like it's not you. So the juggling act, the trying to figure out who you need to be, what you need to be, like, you can put that down. You can put that down and surrender to the worthiness of who you are, and all of the blessings and miracles that are available to you because of who you are. Let's get one advice card for you. Sometimes it's scary to sit back and relax and not do anything, but you know, embodying our full divine feminine energy is all about receiving and allowing ourselves the ability to expand our capacity to receive. In 2018, we've been working too hard. Yep, Spirit's advice to you is to sit down. This is the Yang card, and this is to me saying, allow your masculine to come to you. Allow that. I mean, they're already, like, they're looking at you. They have an open mind about you. They have fresh new perspective around you. Like, they see you. When I see this card, to me this says they see you. So let them be in their masculine energy and come toward you. Trust that you will quickly know where you stand. In matters of the heart, there is movement toward your highest good. So go forth with assurance. Passion is in the air, and now is the time to dance to the tune of love. Right? So this is a take the lead card, but based on everything else that came out, what I'm hearing is this is a good time for you to sit back, lie back, rest, and relax, and allow the person that you're watching this video for to come toward you. Allow them to take the lead. You've done enough. You've done enough. Like, accept things as they are. Relax, relate, release around them, and conjure up that good, divine, feminine, receptive, all is well, deep inner knowing energy. You know, 2019 is not the year that you're going to be running around chasing like a chicken with your head cut off. You're moving out of that. You're coming out of that mode. The chariot stops here. The chariot stops here. So what's your power thought card? My future is glorious. It says, I now live in limitless love, light, and joy. All is well in my world. Yes, acceptance. Acceptance is key. Acceptance is key. Surrendering, resting, relaxing, allowing things to come to you. No more juggling act, no more tap dancing, no more trying to control everything in your world. All right, so that is your message. I hope that resonated for you. And now on to number 3. Okay, so if you chose number 3, let's see what came out for you. So we have surrender, defensiveness. We have health, completion, infinite abundance, true love, and Our Lover's Oracle says, don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. So I think that speaks to being defensive. Sometimes when we are unsure of ourselves or unsure of what's happening around us, we can become defensive. We can stand in a place of denial, or just untruth, or, falsehoods, inauthenticity, not being vulnerable. This card reminds me of like the Page of Swords in reverse. The geisha on this card is holding a sword. She doesn't have it in a defensive position, but she could definitely wield this sword at any time. And according to this card, it says, defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non-defensive response. And so I'm feeling like, you've been feeling threatened in some way in your connection, like you're not being heard, or what you're saying isn't important, and you've had to come to grips with the fact that, part of the reason your connection is where it is because of this. Here we're looking at we're totally looking at divine feminine. If you're watching this reading, I presume it's because you are a divine feminine, or you are a divine masculine wanting to know about your divine feminine. And this is the major thing that will help transform the relationship as we close out this cycle this year and move into new energy. That is, being able to look at yourself when you surrender denial and defensiveness and inauthenticity. It's because you've come to a place in your own health and well-being, in your mindset that you carry, in your vibration, in your aura, and everything about who you are, that allows you to look at yourself in a really authentic, non-judgmental, through the eyes of love way. And as a result of looking at yourself that way and giving yourself a pass, then you can look at others in the same way. And that shows up in the way that you communicate. You're not so quick to talk over someone. You're not jumping to conclusions. You're using your positive mental filter to look at things from, the glass half full versus glass half empty perspective. And so, in this position, this is saying that in doing that, and really, really embodying that will help you clear out some of these karmic cycles that are still coming up, for purging and healing in this connection. And how, how are you going to really do that? Well, you have to make your well-being and your self-care important, and really coming up with new ways to deepen whatever practices you have around that, like the way you think about things, the way you look at things. This is the time to do a total thought process examination and eliminate whatever unhealthy habits, repetitive thoughts, behaviors that, keep you in this place of lower vibrational energy. Sometimes that looks like, therapy or counseling, having someone who you can talk to, or just a friend you can trust to talk things out, who can help you see things from a different perspective. Because sometimes, we all need help, and sometimes there are things that we just want to get off of our chest, and sometimes the relationship, the connection isn't the best place to do that. So finding, you know, ways to detoxify your body, your mind, your spirit is going to be really helpful for you at this time. Embodying a positive mindset, meditation, yoga, setting boundaries, all of that is good for your health and well-being, and in helping you move through you know, because there have been a lot of heavy energies coming up. Like, I mean, there have been so many things this year for the collective, and you know, with this completion card, this is the time of like necessary endings, like finalizing, clearing out things, so that when we move into the new year, we really are prepared for new beginnings. So, you know, just releasing anything that's old and not serving us in our mindset, in the way we behave, in our relationships, and learning the lessons, you know, learning the lessons and moving forward with confidence and courage toward, you know, bigger and better things, believing in our abundance. We have the infinite abundance card here, you know, seeing things from an abundant perspective, an abundant mindset versus lack. When you're in this defensiveness, you're seeing things from a limiting, lack, poverty consciousness mindset. But when you start moving into a place in your life where you are practicing feeling and living from a place of abundance, you're not so quick to attack or be on the defense. You're more allowing of things that come however they show up, and knowing that however things show up or play out, like, you're okay. And that's key to helping you make decisions around this connection, because now you're not, you know, feeling like, oh my God, I said this, or oh, I responded like that, and so now I need to do this even though I feel like that. You know, you have more room to like really be grounded in yourself in a way that you can be all the way authentic. So with the infinite abundance card, it says, if you reach an impasse in life, instead of protesting that it's unfair or unwarranted, change your course. And so that's talking about, you know, being defensive, understanding that when you start embodying that energy, like, and we're just looking at you here, you know, we're not looking at the whole connection, what they're doing, like, we're just looking at what your work is to move the connection forward. And so your work is taking a different approach, you know, not living in a victim mentality around what's happened or what's not happening, or how things are happening, or how you're being treated, and feeling like, you know, I've been treated this way, so now I have to act this way. You know, shifting your mindset, your response quickly and easily, and instead of focusing on what's not working, you focus on what can work and what steps are needed to create a different outcome. So, you know, that's when you know, when you start operating from that place, that's when you know healing is taking place. That's when you know like you're moving to a new level, like ascension is happening. It's going well. So it says, the wise one views an obstacle, and if it's impassable, he immediately steps back and goes a different way. Therein dwells the sage's success. Whatever the obstacle in your life, you have learned what you needed to learn. Now back away and choose a different path. And so, yeah, you know, like, don't keep bumping your head up against the wall here. Like, do what's best for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, look at this. Queen of Wands, Death card, Three of Pentacles and the Sun. Yeah, like allow yourself to be transmuted and transformed. Reach out for support if you need to, but most importantly, like be in this Queen of Wands energy. Like this is who you are, and this is who you really thrive when you're letting your gut lead, not your ego. When you're confident about who you are and unapologetically like living from your heart, and being willing to be wrong, like being willing to work things out, like not taking this stance of my way or the highway. And knowing that, you know, the sun doesn't just shine one way, and it shines every day, you know. It sometimes it's partly cloudy, sometimes it's clear blue skies, but you know, it doesn't change the fact that the sun still shines. Like, I don't know where that came from, but I hope that helps somebody. And then knowing that this is all for your good here, like this Death card, this is all coming up as you know, symbolizing that this story, this old cycle you've been in of, you know, having to be on guard and having to like not be who you truly are, like all of that is coming to an end. Like that's actually a part of, you know, why this connection is here for you. You know, this is the romance of a lifetime, but not only is it the romance of a lifetime, it's the lesson of a lifetime. Like it's showing you, and I know that it's probably, you know, just causing you to shed so many different layers of your ego and so many things about yourself, causing you to run up against yourself in a way that you may have never experienced before, but trusting that it's all good. Like it may not feel good right now, but it is all good. And so, you know, just staying optimistic about things, trusting in the abundance that's present for you in all things is key here. That's really key. And being adaptable, you know, like I said, this Three of Pentacles here, Death card, transformation. This is about being flexible, being adaptable, being willing to see things from more than one perspective. Because, I mean, this is your person here. This is how they see you, and this is how you see them. You know, this is a real true love connection, like this unconditional. You know, if I could cross this off, I would say unconditional love. Unconditional, you know, and that's no limits, that's no boundaries, that's no demands, no controls. Like the card says, you know, being true to yourself first, true to how you're loving yourself, how you're thinking about yourself, how you're responding to yourself, so that you can respond in that same authentic way, so you can love in that same authentic way, so you can be in that same authentic way with others. So let's get and I really love this. I mean, I feel like this is, yep. So we have the Observer card and the Imagine card. So I feel like this is telling you that in 2019 it will serve you, like as we close out this year, move into the next year, it will serve you to become more of an observer of your thoughts, of how you're thinking about things, of how you are responding to things, like not being reactionary, taking time to really, I hate to use the word analyze, because I feel like that, you know, we can get caught up really easily and over analyzing things, but being able to take a step back before opening your mouth and asking yourself, like, is this really what I think it is? Or, like, is there another way or a better way I can respond here? And using the power of your mind to do that. Like seeing beyond the illusion of what it is you think things are. And being willing to be wrong about what you think things are. And so with the Observer card, it says, sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings can get all jumbled up, and you often hear one thing when a person says another. It can be like an echo of an unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversation. So that's like letting, things that have happened to us in the past taint our perspective of things happening to us in the present. And, taking a step back to say, hey, like, wait a minute, let me put my sword down here. I don't have to like draw that out so quickly. Am I even under attack here? Or is there room for me to, kind of change my perspective? So it says to take time out before you react. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words have affected you. Take a few steps back and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together. Take to higher ground now and cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself, in others, and in the landscape. You will find things much improved sooner than you know. So, I think that's just like the icing on the cake. The message here is to, become a lot less reactionary around this connection. If there are things that are triggering you, your work is to find ways to not respond so quickly, or not respond in a negative way. When we love unconditionally, that's about accepting everything just as it is and not making decisions based on conditions present, but really based on unconditional, non-negotiable, unlimitless love. Like unconditional love. So it's about not letting things slide, but letting people off the hook, dropping our expectations around it all, and knowing that our sun is going to shine either way. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. We don't have to walk around with our guards up, because it's not about other people anyway. And then not beating ourselves up for the times that we did, do something that, we were not necessarily proud of. Not letting that guilt, not letting, that regret cause us to then make decisions going forward that don't serve us. All right. So this says, I experience love wherever I go. Love is everywhere, and I am loving and lovable. Loving people fill my life, and I find myself easily expressing love to others. So that's your message to carry with you as we go into the new year. Love is all around you. You can put down the sword. You are safe. Loving people fill your life, and you are easily expressing love to others. All right, I hope that message resonated with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. The support has been crazy amazing. I really just started doing this channel as an extension of the coaching and reading business I run in my day-to-day life, and I've been blessed to form a partnership with my soul sisters. So I really just want to say shout out to Ananda, shout out to Crystal. Make sure you tune in to their videos as well, because this is a 3-part series that we're doing on a monthly basis for the collective. And it's just been a really, really special project for me to work on. And I'm so glad that you tuned in. I'm so glad that you are watching. And take what resonates, leave the rest. I'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, share. Peace.